found is that the most successful people in the world, folks that experience the best relationships, the ones that make about $750,000 more over the course of their entire life, the ones that live about 6 to 7 years longer, all of those folks have found a way to be happy first. And that happiness is actually, statistically, leads to success.
We're either living a past or projecting a future.
Happiness is not about getting to a destination. It's about sort of changing the mindset and the attitudes that you have. You know, the only doorway to happiness is now.
If you're in a job that's not exactly your passion, find a way to enjoy it in the moment.
The only way you can ever help anyone else to be happy is when it's just, you're so full of your own happiness that it's just showering out over other people.
Some people will start doing affirmations. I'm happy, I'm blissful. And that's great to say that, but to say it without feeling it and have meaning and really say there, instead of going, oh, I'm happy, I'm happy, I'm happy, go, breathe it in. I'm really happy. Feel it. You don't just say it. You actually have to feel the moment.
I'm having a bad negative thought and, law of attraction. I don't want to send out negative energy, so I got to get happy, I
was unhappy because I had no shoes until I met the man who had no feet.
Do you want to choose to be right, or would you rather choose to be at peace?
Yeah. 5 years old is the year that we laugh the most. The average 5-year-old laughs 110 times a day.
Oh, how beautiful.
It goes down until by the time we're 40, there are only on average 11 authentic laughs per day.
Oh, God.
So I kind of think there's no coincidence there that the year we're most easily amused is the year that we're the most creative.
Up until the age of about 7 years old, I think it is, we absorb so much information, and we're pretty much set as far as how we're going to see the world.
Einstein once said that the most important question you can ask yourself is whether you live in a friendly universe or not.
Oh, I love
and it's
that.
just,
Yes.
I thought it's just beautiful because how you answer that question basically determines what kind of life that you lead.
Instead of reacting right away when someone says something and taking the perception of, oh, they said something mean to me or they're upset with me or something like that, start listening from my heart. And when you do that, you can actually hear from a different level what the person is really saying. So you might actually see something that's going on with the person that they may say it one way, but you can tell that they're feeling something else.
They've taken optimists and they've compared them to pessimists, and they found that pessimists largely think their life isn't going to work out very well, and they end up experiencing more doctor visits, they make a few less money, the relationships turn out for the worse, and optimists, of course, their counterparts do a lot better in almost all life arenas. And it's interesting, so at the end of the day, the question is often well, who's right? Are pessimists tend to be right about life, or are optimists right about life? And the truth is they're both right. The only question is who's happy, right?
Why save for a rainy day? You're going to create a rainy day. Save for beautiful, loving, fabulous days.
I think that plays into the whole control, that people just, that's one of the basic things that our society is set up that isn't natural, is that we have to have control over everything. And if we can release that control and surrender, then we let God and life and nature just do what it's supposed to do with us, but no one wants to just surrender to what's supposed to happen.
I think basically, by nature, I think we want to be happy. We have that beautiful spirit within inside of us that's just like, yay, it feels good, it feels happy, it feels abundant.
One of the best things that ever happened for us was to have this crash that we basically had, because all of a sudden people are starting to look at, I hated my job, that wasn't the job for me, and they lost their job, and now they start looking at, what can I do that makes my heart sing?
What type of behavior are you modeling for your kids? What do you think your kids are going to grow up to look for in a relationship? They're going to tend to repeat what they experienced.
The question that always kills me, like someone wants to know, well, what are 10-year-olds like, or what are 10-year-olds into? It's like saying, what are 40-year-olds like? You know, I mean, the people, we tend to group kids as though they're just like this blanket category of being, and they're just as unique and diverse and different as people at any age.
And you want to be happy. You want your children to be happy. So if you're not happy with yourself, how are your children going to be happy? So you really need to model it, and not just doing it for the kids, but do it for yourself first. When we're growing up, I always say, I'm not going to be like my parents. I'm not going to do the same things they do. And I think 9 times out of 10, every single person I know does to a certain degree. Like, all of a sudden they're like, oh my God, I just became my dad. I just became my mom.
Who's that voice?
Yeah. Or they say in therapy, if you've decided that you're definitely not going to be your parent, then you can be the swing effect, and you think you're being the opposite, and that could be as detrimental to parenting your best way that's somewhere in the middle.